Welcome to today's mini lesson, Dive. As we analyze our sentence today, we want to keep in mind this guiding question for our module, which is why were American Indian schools first established? You might want to remember the speech or go back and reread or re-listen to the speech that Captain Pratt on the left gave regarding Native American Indian boarding schools that we dug into at the beginning of this unit. So we are going to analyze this sentence. The noble mission of this fine institution is to help the Indian. First of all, there are a few words in here that we need to make sure that we understand. The first word is noble. The word noble means to have qualities that people admire, like honesty or generosity. The word noble usually has a positive connotation, meaning that it feels good. The word noble is a lot more formal, and a lot of the times when we hear that word noble, we're going to think about royalty, kings, queens, or about people and places from long ago. The other word in here that we need to make sure that we understand is this word fine. The word fine has lots of different definitions. In this case, the word fine means very good or deserving of praise or respect. It's a fine institution. Let's look at this phrase, noble mission of this fine institution. So our author of Two Roads uses this sentence to create a tone of formality and respect. This feels very formal in the words that he's chosen, like noble, fine, and institution. He puts this phrase in quotation marks. So those quotation marks in this phrase tell us that this is something that was originally written or said by somebody else. Cal is probably quoting an administrator at Tchilagi, and we can make that assumption because this chunk is written in a formal way and presents a favorable view of Tchilagi. We know that the adults at Tchilagi speak a lot more formally than the students do, and they tend to have a really good positive outlook on the school. We can learn even more about the sentence if we pair it with the one that comes immediately afterward. After the time I've spent here, though, it seems to me like the true purpose of this place is to wear the Indian out. This sentence, combined with the original sentence we were looking at about the noble mission, gives us a pretty clear picture of what Cal's point of view is for Tchilagi. He does not have a very positive point of view. And he says specifically that he feels like Tchilagi is trying to exploit or exhaust or tire out its students. Once we know his point of view, we can go back to the use of quotation marks in the original sentence. Those quotation marks emphasize the idea that the positive words noble and fine were said by someone else and not by Cal. The quotation marks help us understand the idea that Cal didn't and wouldn't say something like this himself. So as we continue to read, make sure that you are thinking about our guided question, why were American Indian schools first established? Something else you might want to think about when you're thinking about this original question is also, did the people who created the schools have the same point of view of the schools that the students and families had?